Today's topic is going to be on fishing. Now, fishing is a activity, one would say, that can be seen since the beginning of time. It's been very fundamental for many countries, as people have relied on it. Many nations have relied on it as a food source. But it wasn't until recently that fishing has become more of an industrialized sport. And this occurred in the early 1900s and is spearheaded by a company named Shimano. Now, Shimano at first was not a fishing company, it was actually an ironworks company. And they were made bicycle parts up until 1971 when they released their first fishing reel. And from 1971 to present, they've been making fishing reels that have been rock solid, in my opinion, as I own quite a few. And they are one of the biggest companies in the world now. Now, moving on from that, the different types of reels that they make, or the two types of reels that are the most popular among bass fishermen, is going to be the spinning reel and the bait casting reel. So the spinning reel looks like this. It's got a bail and handle on the left side. And the bait caster is like this. You got a button that you push here, opens up the spool, and you can cast. Now, these two reels have different functions. We'll start with the spinning reel. The spinning reel is mainly used for lighter baits, such as light worms or light crankbaits, which look like fish and they rattle. But they're mainly used for lighter baits because bait casters can't handle as light a bait as they prefer, and they spin better with heavier baits. And like I just said, bait casters are used for heavier baits. Now, the plus side with bait casters is you can cast farther. Well, the spinning reel is a little bit limited on distance, but with that ability to cast farther is also something called a bird's nest. Now, a bird's nest, once you push that button and you open up that spool, if you don't control that spool, it has the potential to knot itself, and that causes a lot of pain for anglers. Now, both of these reels can go on different types of rods. Now, the spinning reel is a little bit more limited on the rod it can go on, as again, it casts lighter baits, but it can go a little bit heavier and cast heavier baits for more finesse fishing, which is finesse fishing doesn't have as much presentation to the fish, and that's just, again, calls for lighter baits. Now, bait casters, you have a wider variety of baits to use that are bigger, and which in turn attract bigger fish. And with that bigger fish is every fisherman wants a bigger fish. So a lot of people have a mix of both in their arsenals. A lot of the pros usually use bait casters, especially if they're going for big fish in tournaments. And with that, I hope you'll learn the lesson and catch your PB. And like the Googan would say, keep fishing, never stop.